recording. We're going to number 2. No? There we go. Hey, Chris, how's it going today?
Pretty good. I just came back from Road America in Wisconsin.
No. Me too.
And so you were racing there.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about how the race went?
It didn't go very well. Well, the first day, we had some issues. Second day, we had more issues. We were cruising right along, but then, we blew through some brake pads, had to pull off, change the brake pads. All the usual stuff of racing, which means like, bring another 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you guys, you were on the track. You went past me at like 124 miles an hour, the clock said.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Is that your average speed?
No. I mean, corners are much less, 70 or whatever it is. I mean, there's some really good racing at Road America in Wisconsin. Every car's different, right? If you saw some of those cars were going down and they were only hitting 80 or whatever, they were hitting 100, but this is a car we rebuilt, and it seems to be running real well now and holding the track really well. But on the second day we had a huge issue of funny, the night of Saturday night, we were all sitting around, and I'm like, did anybody smell gas in the car? And one other guy goes, oh, yeah, I smelled gas too. And, and the guy who was like the mechanic is like, oh, you guys are just crazy, So the next day we had the trunk open where the gas is, and, spraying gas all over the trunk.
Wow. So it's a good thing you guys didn't like inhale too much and pass out while you're driving.
Oh, I'm telling you, it wasn't even that. It was more the fire aspect where one of them, I stopped at a red flag and watched a car burn up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a lot of fun,
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I think a lot of people don't understand what goes into this. So it's you guys have a race team, like 5 people or something, right?
It's 4 of us.
Four people. You guys own a car. You probably spent about $50,000 on it, or how much was it?
I'd say over the time, if I were to say, they probably have $120,000 into that car. We have 35 just in the last year, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this is for new engines, new brakes, or whatever?
Yeah, this was aero and tires and, our car was kind of falling behind the times. It's a 240 SX with a Nissan, 350Z engine. So it's kind of a Frankenstein of cars.
And you guys raced for about 8 hours.
8 hours.
Each guy's going about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours apiece. It's an endurance race. It's not. It's definitely the marathon of racing. But
and everyone's an amateur. You're just out there for the fun.
Yeah. I mean, most people. I mean, there have been some in our circuit that were professional race car drivers that they now are retired, and this is what they do.
It's their hobby now.
Yeah, it's their hobby. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember about 12 years ago or so. I was talking to you, and you said, yeah, I'm leaving town for the weekend. I said, where are you going? You said, race car school. I had no idea something like that exists. And so I think you were going to Ohio. Or Louisiana
mid-Ohio, yep. Where we just came back from, where, where they wrecked another car that we had. I mean, it's just like everything is bring out another 1,000. So whenever you take the car, it's like, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 1,000 here. It becomes a very expensive hobby.
And so where are the other schools? So
there was one Alabama, which is the Porsche school, which I've been to several times. Mid-Ohio. I mean, there are California schools. There's all sorts of them around. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one guy is going to the BMW school in South Carolina this coming weekend.
Yeah. Well, that's his choice.
Yeah. So you don't like BMW? You have a BMW.
I used to have a BMW. I used to be a BMW guy, but now I've changed my tune.
Mm-hmm. So but you guys are racing, and so you're going. You're doing at least 800 miles a day, right?
No, I wouldn't say. Is it 800? Yeah,
about 1,600 for the whole weekend, I was told.
Wow, I didn't realize that until you mentioned that. Yeah, maybe it is.
And you guys go through a set of tires. each race, right?
Usually it's about a whole weekend is a set
Yeah,
of
a
tires.
whole weekend.
Yeah.
Because you're going around these turns.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Those tires really take a beating.
Oh
for sure.
man, the whole car takes a beating. I take a beating,
What
but
kind of tires do you use? I mean, are you using
a real sticky compound race tire.
soft? Is
Yeah.
that like considered
Yeah,
soft tire?
yeah, and they heat up and stick to the track.
So what's it like when it starts raining out there?
Very slick.
Do like guys crash or spin out? Or what?
No. There's a different line you take when it's wet. So there's an oily line where if you're racing in the dry, where everyone goes, which when the rain comes down, it slicks that part of the track, and then but you actually cut across those in the rain, which is supposed to be and funny. I went to school for that too.
How
But-
to slide?
well, no, not even how to slide. I mean, you're not moving at 124 miles an hour, coming into a
Right.
turn. But you're moving much less, 80 or whatever. But you're coming into the turn a heck of a lot different than what you are.
And so, okay, so that was Wisconsin. You said next month you're going to be in Virginia.
Virginia, VIR, yeah, first
So-
time ever there. So we'll see how that goes.
This Wisconsin track was what, 4 miles? Like
4 mile
total?
loop, yep, or
And
not
so
a
it's-
loop, but 4 mile road course.
It's not just a big oval.
Yeah, no, this is Road America. This is probably one of the top 5 road courses in the world, frankly.
So what's the Virginia one like?
Have not been there, haven't even looked at it, haven't
looked
done
at
any
it, huh?
studying. You know how like football guys plan out their strategy. That's kind of what we do, before we hit a new track.
And what about Ohio?
Mid Ohio?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go to that race, but I've been at Mid Ohio several times. That's a fun course. That's definitely in my top 20.
So are these like other I mean, are they all about 4 miles? Are they?
I'm not sure how long Ohio is, but I'd say it's probably around there, maybe 3 miles, maybe a little shorter.
Okay.
But
My
it's
sister-
not as expansive as what Road America is.
Okay.
I mean, when you mention Road America, it's like,
That's
this
a lot of land.
heaven opens up, and all these race car drivers are sitting there going, "I love that track."
Yeah.
But
The spectators aren't too excited in cold weather, but
oh man, but it is a gorgeous course, especially this time of year in fall. It's just absolutely stunning.
so my sister used to live by Texas Motor Speedway, I think it was called.
Oh yeah.
So do you know what that's like?
Was that
is
near
an oval or
Texas
something?
A&M?
It was north of Fort Worth.
Yeah, I don't know.
what the town was called, Denton or
Yeah, I don't know.
or something like that.
There's one over by
Justin, I think it was in Justin, Texas.
nothing like a
But it was
town named
north.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've never even heard of that, but
Okay.
yeah.
I kind of got the impression. I mean, I think most people think that, at least people who aren't in the know, picture racetracks, they see an oval, but it's not always an oval.
No, and this is definitely a road course, yeah. But road courses, you don't have to just lean left or right the whole time. You have to hit left, hit right, hit left.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's more skill.
And so you and I were talking. Actually, one of the cool things I think is that you're going around these turns, and then you go into the straightaway. And so when you're going around these turns, this is your opportunity to come out with extra speed, right?
Right.
How does
Well,
that
when
work?
you're going into the turns, you're tapping the brake. Everyone thinks you're on the brake, but you're tapping the brake, and then you're letting the car's momentum carry you through the turn at whatever 80, 90 miles an hour, and then you're back on the car again. So it's a constant adjustment. It's a constant like, am I faster here by doing this, or am I faster here doing this? And before we didn't have a speedometer, and I know that guys are like, oh, we don't need a speedometer, but I, being a pilot, need a speedometer because then I judge how fast I'm going into that turn. I look at it and I go, I'm hitting this at 100 miles an hour. I need to be down to 80 to get through it. And then I know when to tap the brake and then let the car go through the turn.
Fewer accidents that way.
Fewer accidents for me, yes. Thank God there's no accidents for me.
Well, that's very cool.
Knock
So you're going
on
to
wood.
Virginia. What other kind of races are coming up?
No, I'm not sure. Next year we gotta plan our season. We do about 4 or 5 a year, and we have 2 cars. Like I said, the other car's wrecked right now. Thanks, Jim.
And that got wrecked in Ohio.
No, that car got wrecked somewhere. Oh, that did get wrecked in Ohio. Supposedly some Porsche cut him off, and yeah, yeah. Well, and we'll just go with that.
Yeah. So what kind of car is that?
That is a Honda Accord.
So I saw. I mean,
I'm sorry, Honda Civic.
okay.
Honda Civic.
And it's funny because you see a lot of these cars, and a lot of them are these smaller Japanese cars. They're not like, there aren't that many. I don't think there are many Porsches out there, right? I didn't see
No,
that
because Porsche is pretty valuable. Even whatever year it is, you'll see Porsche Boxsters in our.
You don't
And we
wanna beat
race
'em too
Champ
much,
Car,
yeah.
And we whoop up on them.
many. Yeah.
They don't have near the power we have.
Okay. Because you guys put a bigger engine in.
Yeah, well, I mean the engine, the suspension, the car itself. Yeah, it's a great car
So
now.
for the suspension, you make it ride lower then, or what?
It's sat lower, but we also have Aero Kit, which basically lets the car stick to the track a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What other? I mean, are there any American cars out there?
Oh yeah. There was Camaros out there.
Oh,
there was,
Camaros, I saw that.
yeah, there was. I think there was a Firebird. There was a couple
Okay.
Camaros, a lot of Mustangs.
Uh-huh.
Ford Fiesta. There were some of those out there. Oh, Ford Focus. I'm sorry, not Fiesta. Ford Focuses. Yeah, there was a lot of those. There was also some VWs. I saw some GTIs.
Okay.
What else did we get out there? A lot of Miatas. Miatas are in
I see
Champ
a lot
Car.
of those.
Yeah, and they used to eat us up, but now we're eating them up because of the changes.
And with like the engine cage or whatever you call it.
Roll cage?
Yeah. So no, just like where the engine goes into.
Okay.
The Miata fit the same size engine that your
Oh
your
no,
car sits?
no.
So that's the big.
Yeah, there's not much room around our engine anymore because it's not the engine for that car, but
right. Reminds me of the old days when people were always dropping bigger engines and different cars for the
technically
muscle
that's
cars.
what ours is. It's like we just tweaked it more by giving it a little bit more power.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's very cool.
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So, on a different note,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you about my recent big life change here. I canceled my Costco membership.
What? No, that's un-American.
Right.
That's un-American. Costco, you don't cancel Costco. Costco cancels you.
Right. It's
Yeah.
you don't see many people who cancel their Costco
Yeah,
membership.
that is un-American. You're not going to buy any more 55-gallon mayonnaise jars or anything.
Yeah, I think for 55 gallon drums, I think that's you go to Restaurant Depot for something like
Yeah.
that. But so I've got 3 different wholesale memberships. I've got BJ's, I've got Sam's Club, and I had Costco. And I'm just like, why should I be paying all these membership dues with all this overlap?
I get it because we have Sam's Club and Costco, but we never go to Sam's Club.
You never go to Sam's Club.
No.
There's one not too far from your house.
No, right.
But my kid has a vending business, and Sam's Club was very good for vending businesses. And, I was kind of irritated by Costco. Costco had to make this big political stance recently.
Oh, really? What was that political stance?
They were saying, well, we're going to, because there's pressure to get rid of DEI stuff, policies and things like that. And Costco's out there saying, well, we're not going to, we're going to stick to our guns. We want to keep pushing DEI. But, then I see them going to at least the markets that we're in. I see them go to the whitest neighborhoods out there. I see, it's like you see a Costco go up. You're like, they're the whitest of white neighborhoods. And
Isn't that funny? They're always in the burbs. I do notice that.
It reminds me of some of these people who move into these super white neighborhoods and put up diversity signs and stuff. It's like
yeah.
So
I hear you on that for sure.
And I see Sam's Club in diverse areas.
Oh,
And so,
absolutely.
They're obviously they
But
seem to be more friendly about it.
on the other side of that, just thinking about the longevity of where Costco's been here. I remember when Costco came to our area. Sam's Club's been around a lot longer. Maybe they're in those diverse areas because they were there
growth?
first.
Well, I've seen the Sam's Clubs move around a little bit. Like the one that's close to your house. They were, I'm not sure how long ago that was, but I think I remember the first one that went up, and that was definitely like more in the city. And then I saw another one go up in another part of town. But then they ended up moving out to the suburbs. Actually, not the suburbs. They're still in a diverse area. They're not out in the suburbs. They're a little further out to probably accommodate some of those folks to come in from the suburbs and things like that. But so I don't know, kind of a mixed bag. There's one location that's been out there forever, out in the suburbs.
Sure.
But so anyways, I just wish that Sam's Club, at least around here, that only one of them has gas. Although I don't need gas anymore, but my kids need gas.
Yeah.
So the
I'm
anyway.
trying to think if I've ever seen a Sam's Club with gas.
Yeah. So there's I've seen one around here, but so Costco. I was curious to see what kind of distribution they have, because I remember like it must have been back in the 90s where the first Sam's Club was. Originally there was a business called the Warehouse Club or something.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if that was like the first incarnation from Walmart on their Warehouse Club, and then they changed the name.
So was it?
or what.
It was the same company.
It was in
yeah.
the same location.
Okay.
I don't know actually, but there was a Warehouse Club that became Sam's Club, but then you and I actually just had lunch next to it last week. But then they became Sam's Club, and that's that. And then there's nothing called the Warehouse Club anymore. But,
Right.
But just looking at distribution throughout the United States to see
Right.
how it all worked out was Costco is in 47 states. The only states that it's not in are Rhode Island, West Virginia, and Wyoming, evidently.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
That's impressive coverage. I mean, whereas Sam's is in 44 states, with the exception of Alaska, Massachusetts, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Washington. And I think maybe they don't go into Washington or Oregon because I think Costco's from Washington. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, maybe they've got their deal. I think that's where they're based out of. I could be wrong, but I was kind of thinking the Seattle area, or that'd be Oregon, or Seattle, Washington. Yeah.
Sure. Right.
So then BJ's is a smaller one, only in 17 states.
And I had never heard of BJ's until we went out to the East Coast, and
and so there.
I thought the name was very interesting, though.
Right, exactly. I'm still waiting for an I Like BJ's shirt, but they don't. They haven't decided to sell those yet.
Classless. Yes.
But I think they're in Florida, they're in Massachusetts, other New England states, and other East Coast states. But and for the most part, for the general consumer, they're pretty comparable.
Right.
A lot of them are offering the same stuff. A lot of them are probably going.
Seems like the same junk at each.
They're going to the same. They're probably going to the same manufacturer, food manufacturers in a lot of ways, and private labeling a lot of their own stuff, and
Right.
things like that. So anyways, that's my talk.
My
about
interest there. Does BJ's have private labeled hot dogs?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
That's
I
for
never
you.
ate at their deli.
That's for you guys to figure out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, so switching topics again.
Sure.
So I've been hearing a lot about helium-3, and helium-3 is, it's this isotope. Whereas, like, I forget how it is. You have two protons, two electrons, things like that, and you build your different elements. But so helium-3, it has one variation of that, where it's they call it an isotope, where it's only got like one electron, I think, which makes it different than the regular helium that we see, which is the helium-4. And so this stuff is something like $20 million a kilogram right now. It's a very rare chemical or element. It comes, we get it from the sun. It gets emitted from the sun, but our atmosphere protects us from receiving it, having it come down to Earth. But the moon is full of it.
Really?
And so evidently with the helium-3, you can have, it's a great power source for like feeding nuclear reactors, except it doesn't have the nuclear waste that other elements have been that have been used in the past.
Sure, sure.
And so if you can have something that creates massive power but not have the toxic
The
waste that comes from
factor of it.
it's an incredibly important thing. And especially now that we look at these AI data centers where they're going to be needing massive amounts. So if we could be feeding some of these things with a safer fuel, that's going to be really important. So
And they can cool up to 272 degrees, negative 272 degrees Celsius.
right, and so it gets close to
And can
absolute
power
zero Kelvin.
87 terawatts hours of energy. How much is a terawatt?
So that's. Are you talking about the amount of? So, okay. So just backing up a little bit.
Yeah.
So on Earth, it's very rare. Evidently, there was a kind of a, relatively speaking, a good find in Minnesota recently. I think a lot of times because it is a gas that you can extract with they're finding it with natural gas and things like that.
Sure.
But on the moon, so this radiation is just coming, from the sun blasting, and helium-3 is has coated the surface of the moon for.
Which they're saying wind?
Like solar wind.
Solar wind.
And so then it gets trapped. It gets trapped inside the rocks.
I didn't even realize there was something called solar wind.
And so there's so you have so much of this stuff that's been just deposited on the moon's surface, and we see China going, the United States is looking at going, and this is where I think that you're talking about it. There's if we can mine the stuff that's on the moon's surface, I think going down a few feet or something. I think that's what
It said 4 meters, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
You can power the Earth for hundreds of thousands of years.
That's crazy.
And so it could create, it could create a lot of energy for us to really have for a long time.
So this seems like a opportunity for like companies. Are companies jumping on this or?
Some are. There are some companies, and so it's obviously a lot of new technology that's coming of age, and people are developing because there are a lot of logistics with this. So it's like number one, you have to get to the moon. Then number two, you have to have some kind of processing center because you're not just going to grab the top 12 feet of the moon and bring it back to Earth.
Right.
So they're looking at different ways to be able to extract it out of there. And I think it sounds like one of the most popular concepts is to have some kind of some kind of grinder up there that can kind of break down the rocks and be able to extract the helium-3 out of there. And so, the payday will be great. Obviously, if you're talking like $20 million a kilo, I mean, the market price would obviously go down
Right.
once things get efficient. But so when we talk about all the AI power, quantum computing, a lot of these quantum computers, like I saw a thing with the Google Willow chip, where they're talking about, they want to be like at 0.1 degree above absolute zero, which is something like 450 degrees below zero.
That's
Fahrenheit.
crazy.
And so, it probably takes incredible power to run this stuff. Keep this stuff cool and everything, and
Right.
helium-3 can do that without a lot of waste. And so, that's going to be one of our.
I'm wondering what they
biggest races.
define as not a lot of waste. Like,
Right. Yeah, and so I don't know. I think there's kind of like zero toxic waste at least.
Really?
So, so here's some of the. Here's some of the uses for this. So right now,
Yeah.
80% of helium-3 goes to nuclear material detection. So obviously for defense purposes, you could use it in airports, obviously, too. So and then there's use for medical imaging on high-res MRI for like lungs. So you can ingest this stuff, evidently, and then run through a CAT scan or whatever, MRI, and it'll highlight where the issues are that you need to highlight. And then actually oil and gas production. So So yeah, actually, here's a line that says lunar mining for helium-3 could power Earth for millennia. So it's that's where we need so we need the extra terrestrial excavator. The Department of Energy is buying extraterrestrial helium for non-terrestrial natural resource purchases. 1 million tons of lunar HE3 could power Earth for about 28,000 or 2,800 years. So there's good stuff, and yeah, that's something that's coming on the horizon. Between all the computing power we have going on, between the supercomputers and the AI generators, quantum computing, just everything we need electricity for. And this, if we can have our nuclear reactors pumping out this stuff and give it a clean fuel source to be able to do that, that's
Right.
obviously a lot better than how things have worked so far. And maybe people wouldn't be as worried about meltdowns and things like that.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a lot of nuclear problems that have went on in the past that I foresee. If we can eliminate that, that would be great.
Right. So, that's how we move ahead as society. So,
Yeah, well, and we keep coming up with these, and it always gets me, right? And I think about this all the time. When have we mined it out? When is everything depleted?
when have we exhausted everything? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of interesting because relatively speaking, if we've been doing stuff for like 200 years or so, when you think about
Right.
that,
And when is, this, and I know this is crazy because I'm redoing a bathroom right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm putting in granite countertops, right? And then I start thinking about it and I'm like, it's amazing to me that we still keep getting granite from all these mines. How many years? I mean, and they've used marble for thousands of years.
Right.
And and we still are able to mine it. Where's it all coming from? And how is it all getting here? And, at what point is it like, hey, guess what? And, the weird thing about it is just even the usage of it and then the termination of that product, even into a landfill, because it's like, what, red granite doesn't look good in my house anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like thrown into the garbage, never to be used again. And then it's like, I mean, all these things go through my head all the time, especially when I'm in the library.
Maybe in another 50 million years, that red granite will become a new product.
Right. Well, it's funny because I was
people will
watching
like, right?
HGTV and they were putting red granite in a house, and I'm like, boy, why couldn't we salvage all this material anyways and reuse it for down the road when it comes back into style or whatever,
It is funny because they talk about as a person who's flipped properties and dealt with a lot of granite and marble issues and stuff, you see people, oh, this is from Italy, and people love to say things are from the stone is from Italy, but how much stone can there be? It's kind of a smaller country.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, where are they getting it? Are they getting it out of the same mine going down, or are they,
and just keep going down? Yeah.
Chiseling away at the sides? And I mean, in Italy, look at all the ruins that they had that were made out of marble or stone or whatever,
I think doesn't the Earth's crust varies probably from 20 to 100 miles deep or something.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stone.
That is a lot of stone. But then, when do we run out of it? I don't know.
So it's interesting. So I read an article the other day.
Yeah. What's the article about?
So this is David Brooks, who's I don't think he calls himself a Republican. At one time he called himself a Republican, but he's like one of those anti-Trump kind of Republicans, if he's anything. So, but he wrote an article that was talking about why are the Democrats increasing inequality, and it talks about these policies that have been pushed that really reward and enable people to not do well. So David Brooks wrote in the New York Times about how student achievement improved from the 1990s to 2013, and then it collapsed.
Right.
Screens and politics get most of the blame. So between your smartphones and politics, where they're saying, well, let's go lighter, let's reduce our standards, things like that, and let's not make it so tough. I mean, I've seen school districts who've said, well, we're not going to do STEM because not enough minority kids do well in STEM, so we're just going to cancel STEM.
Define STEM.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Okay, yeah.
And so, obviously those, moving forward as a society, especially as you see AI eating up a lot, will be eating up a lot of these administrative kind of jobs and stuff.
Right. We need people that are more technologically. Thank you. Technologically advanced. And it seems like, from what I can read from the article, is it's like a lot of those numbers are failing at this point for these kids.
And they are. And actually, it's going. So the interesting thing is, with all these pushes, the northern states have suffered the most.
Right.
While all of a sudden the southern states,
I saw that there was a turnaround,
outperforming the northern states. So literacy and reasoning skills are dropping. Red states like Mississippi and Tennessee have actually improved recently, while blue states like California are falling behind. Those states have focused, the states that have been improving have doubled down on the phonics, accountability, tutoring, and while California watered things down to make things. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the school system I came up in, where it's like a lot of students weren't performing well; they just kind of pushed them through the system.
So you're telling me that California or Mississippi beats California in reading?
So
that's like a Waffle House winning a Michelin star.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can find some of these stats here, because these are these are impressive. Let's see. So just reading through. Let's see. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisiana are suddenly doing remarkably well. Roughly 52% of Mississippi's black fourth graders read at grade level, compared with only 28% in California. Louisiana is the only state where fourth grade achievement levels have returned to pre-pandemic levels. So an Urban Institute study adjusted for the demographics of the student bodies found that schools in Mississippi are educating their fourth graders more successfully in math and reading than schools in any other state. Isn't that funny? Because especially, a lot of people like to look at Mississippi and think it's backwards, but obviously they're doing it right down there.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting, because you and I were talking about the best ranked universities, public universities in the school, and when we were going through that list, we realized, wow, these guys, most of these schools are in the South. They're like the top 10. They're almost all in the South.
South or California was a lot of them. Yeah.
That was impressive, because, I mean, I think UC Berkeley was there. There's probably one other UC in the top 10.
Yeah, there was a couple, right?
But it was, it was always my thought that the warmer weather was a distraction for students, whereas the cold weather
it would have been for me
keeps kids locked in.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So what are we talking with, like No Child Left Behind, or
So it says the so-called Southern Surge came about because the red states built around a reading curriculum based on science, not ideology. The schools provide clear accountability information to parents and give them more freedom to choose schools. They send coaches to low-performing classrooms. They use high-quality tutoring, and they don't promote students who can't read, reducing bureaucratic strings that used to control the behavior in the classroom, which is interesting, because I hear about the school system that I grew up in,
right,
which was lousy back then. But you talk to teachers now, and they say, well, the way we have to operate is the kids who want to learn, sit up in the front. The kids who don't want to learn kind of sit in the back and do their own thing,
right?
Because they're not really allowed to discipline. And, what good does that do?
Well, and it seems like, I mean, that's a big drop off of our schools is non-discipline, and nobody wants to discipline anybody. Nobody wants to arrest anybody anymore. Everybody wants to let the criminals out, But now it seems like that's starting to change a little here.
Right. You can't reward bad behavior.
Right.
And sometimes, it's the whole tough love thing. It's like,
Sure.
it's like if we're going to move forward, if we're going to improve, how are you going to improve communities that suffer if you just say, well, we're going to write you off,
Right.
we're not going to like put our hearts into you. We're just going to let you do what you want. And,
Yeah, we're just gonna pass you and let you get out. Like,
the end of the
and
school
it
year,
seems like that's what they were doing for a while. Is they were just passing kids to get them out of the system.
Right.
You know.
And then, then it becomes the whole game like, well, we got to make sure we pass them because if we pass them, then we're, then we can like report back to the federal government. We get more money from the Department of Education. And, it's just this circular thing that just kind of feeds themselves and hurts society.
So they really weren't holding these kids accountable for their grades and,
the pandemic just made things worse.
Oh, I could see that. I could see it out of my own kids, you know. Mm-hmm. It definitely drove their attitudes down.
Right. Yeah. And so anyways, another article I came across recently was a ranking of the 10 states with the worst drivers.
Oh, man. Wisconsin, number 1.
Well, it's not ranked on slow drivers.
Oh. I think we have slow speed limits.
Yeah.
Frankly, when I moved to this state, roads that were like 55 miles an hour in Indiana were like 25 here.
It was unbelievable, right?
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
And, as a person who's traveling around, in Wisconsin, it's the one state where you can consistently find someone going under the speed limit in the left lane.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Just
yesterday.
And then they'll like line up with the car next to them, and you're just like, I can't.
Yesterday. Same thing. And this happens every day of me driving home.
And then you can get the person, so you start passing them, and then they speed up.
Right.
And then you can't get it.
And then they're on your butt after you pass them. I'm like,
right? Yeah.
What were you doing?
It's like, I was just going slow until someone would get in front of me because you get the speeding ticket.
I had a guy swerving into me yesterday, and I'm like, what is wrong with this guy?
Put that phone down.
And then I'm looking at his car or her. I don't know if it's him or her because the windows were so tinted.
Was it a Prius? Oh, okay.
No, it was an Acura MDX. Yeah. And frankly, it must have had a dent on every side. And I'm like, I'll just back off.
Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care who he runs into, right?
I'm like, I'll just back off. Go ahead. Have your way, man.
Right. So, okay, I'm going to start with number 10 here.
Number 10.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Otherwise known by some
Let me
folks.
just say, you guys suck.
Rising, so they were ranked on rising violations and infrastructure issues. Yeah, so
talk about that. We have infrastructure
number
issues.
9, Delaware. So it's interesting. So elevated to accident rates relative to population. Okay, so because I was wondering, how this compares to like other states. Delaware it's a small state.
Sure.
So
I've never driven in Delaware.
it's I'm not a big fan. Then Maryland, right by Delaware.
Maryland. Yeah.
Costly insurance due to frequent claims and urban congestion. So, I'm sure you get that. Baltimore, D.C. area, things like that. So, I never had any issues in Maryland, I guess. But
I haven't driven that much in Maryland.
South Carolina, poor safety scores, high crash involvement. I have to
Wonderful.
Say, yeah, that's one state. I rented a rental car once, and it just stank like pot. So maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know if they have a pot problem there or not.
I had that in Massachusetts once.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I think you were traveling with me. Actually.
It was so bad. I had to return it to Hertz.
Yeah. And you have to think, like, what are these guys thinking? It's like, are their noses just like insensitive?
No, they say they can't get it out of the cars.
Really?
Yeah. I asked. I was like, can you guys not get that smell out? Because I want to tell you, probably 80% of the cars that I rent these days, you can smell pot. You really can.
You need an ozone machine.
Yeah.
Right?
We have one of those.
Yeah. So those.
I used that in my car the other day, actually, because it stunk. Yeah, it smelled like workout clothes,
So just so you know, on like Amazon for I think $100, you can buy an ozone machine that you're not supposed to breathe it, but you can put it in your car or house or whatever, and it gets rid of odors. It kills the odors.
Yeah, but it also puts in this other odor that my wife always complains about. Why does it smell so bad in here? I'm like,
doesn't it go away?
it does after a little bit
Yeah.
of time. I mean, my car still, I think, smells like it, and I did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay.
but, she
There's an
likes to
interesting
complain.
science to it, how it attaches to these odious elements that are in your car or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess
It works,
That's the byproduct.
but
right?
it does, it seems like the smell does come back after a little bit of time.
So, so the number one school state is number 6 is for bad drivers. Maybe they're in a hurry to get to school these days. So they have the top uninsured driver rate and fatal accidents.
Well, who is that?
Mississippi. I
Oh,
forgot to mention
Mississippi. Oh, yeah, Mississippi. I'm like, wait a minute, you're leaving me hanging. And
so-
for some reason, my list isn't here.
So, yeah, I mean, uninsured
Well, they're getting
drivers-
educated, but not on the driving side. Maybe
maybe-
we need to get driver's
I
education.
guess you could have some of those, Jim Bob folks doing crazy stuff,
Yeah,
right? Hold
yeah.
my beer, it's
Hold
kind
my
of things,
beer.
right?
Right.
Number 5 is kind of interesting, which is I wouldn't have thought. I mean, is Montana.
Yeah, there's not
mean,
not a lot of
You
population
got a lot of
there.
space out there.
Yeah.
It's like big sky country. I mean, it's
It
like
seems like a little off the cuff there to.
exactly. So you can drive for miles without seeing any population.
Right,
It's,
right.
It says high rural crash rates and fatalities, and maybe that's off the mountains. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Running into-
Fatalities,
they
yeah.
probably have elk there.
But that's
and things.
per that population, per the
For that
percentage of population.
Yeah, I think it's on a per capita. Kind
Hey, Montana, get your shit together.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of space. There's no excuse.
Yeah,
So the state of Washington,
yeah.
frequent violations and weather-related risks. Maybe driving in the fog,
Weather-related risks. That must be like rain.
rain, fog,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I'd guess.
Hitting junkies in the middle of the street. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not even going there.
And number 3. So number 3 is interesting because Massachusetts has a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
And obviously, if you can take the T, it's a lot easier.
yeah. And you know what? You ever driven through Boston?
So it's tough.
That place is screwed.
It's a tough drive.
The
But
Big Dig was a big.
The big dig, yeah.
Yeah, it was a big loss.
The $2 billion project that turned into like $25 billion. But it's tough to drive around Massachusetts. And
Even with nav, it's tough to drive. Like
Oh,
turn
oh, nav.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn left, and you're like, which left is there?
Which
There's
left?
3
Yeah,
different
right.
lefts here, and it's like turn left. I'm like, oh shit.
I mean, it's a tough, it's an old city. It's a
Yeah.
city that's built on, like, the roads are built on cow paths or whatever. And, but just the congestion is so tough. It's like it can take you an hour to go a few miles. You got 2 beltways. Obviously, you got the Mass Pike that goes right into downtown Mass.
Right.
But, just getting around a lot of places. But I have to say, I really do like, in general, driving in Massachusetts. Because, people say, well, they cut you off. They don't even think about it. But you know what? It's like every time I try to get in, like need to cut in, usually the person just opens up. And I feel that it's like such a less stressful way to drive as opposed to that person going under the speed limit who won't let you get in front of them. And because, I mean, you're talking
not-
about 16 feet, or maybe
Yeah.
like 18 feet.
And they
You know,
close the
13
gap.
foot car and
Yeah.
a few feet, or I guess more than 18 feet. But I mean, when you're going expressway speeds, what does it matter, right?
Right.
So you just let.
So
people
you're
on.
saying that they're not mass holes.
They're not I don't think they're massholes in a lot of ways, but I think a lot of people get pissed off. They'll be like, because
I've met some massholes.
Jump in. They take the liberty and they'll jump in front of you, which some people may say that that bastard. It's like he cut me off or whatever. But a lot of times they let you in too. So it's so I mean, high incidence of per driver. Oh, this is funny. You'd think this would be Wisconsin. Highest incidence of per driver DUI. So maybe it's not the congestion, or maybe it is operating under the influence.
Maybe all these guys are just drunk.
After having a few Sam Adams or something.
Yeah, right.
Cape Cod.
This was Massachusetts too?
So yeah, that was the highest. That was their reason behind it.
Did I ever tell you this story about me going to the taco place, like going from the Cape to catch an airplane, but the airplane wasn't coming till the next day, so I stayed at a hotel next to the airport or close to the airport. And I'm like, hey, where can I go eat, right? And they're like, well, down the street there's a Mexican place. Over there's an Italian place. So I decide, I'm like, I love Mexican. So I went to the Mexican place, right? And I walk in and, and now that I think back, I think I walked by this person. And I walk up to the bar, and it's taken forever for me to get a margarita. And I'm like, it's taken forever for even me to get a server or whatever. And I'm sitting at the bar. There's a couple to the left of me. There's a guy, older guy, and a younger girl. And I'm sitting there, and I must have looked right, and all of a sudden I hear this crash. And all this, I whipped my head to the left. I think I jumped out of my seat like I was going to have to fight something off. And I look over, and both couples, that couple is on the ground, and there's some lady behind him kicking him, yelling, "You cheater, you cheater." I can't believe, and so I'm like, I'm out.
So what were the people in the restaurant doing?
I think they were all like just in shock.
Right?
I walked out the front door and I'm standing. I call my wife and I'm like, "You're not gonna believe what just happened to me in this restaurant." And as soon as I'm like ready to say, "You won't believe," the guy and the girl come out and they're like walking towards this Porsche, and he's like, I'm really sorry. I didn't think she'd be there." And he's like explaining to this girl, like, "I'm sorry."
He's explaining this to his girlfriend.
To the girlfriend, right. His wife caught him, right. Or girlfriend, I don't know what it was, but I wasn't sticking around to see what happened.
So was this in Boston, or where was it?
This was in Boston. It was too funny, but I know they got away from our driver's thing, but a little story, a little off our track.
Right. No, that's a funny story. You don't see that stuff happening very
No,
often.
I'm telling you, and I was so shocked, and I'm like, I couldn't believe she's kicking him, and I almost was like, "Go girl, do it."
So number 2 on the list is Louisiana.
Yeah.
Elevated fatal crash rates.
Wow.
Top 5 nationally, and poor road safety. Poor road safety. I don't know if that means.
Does that mean?
signage
Yeah, I was ready to say safety. Is that state problem or is that a driver problem?
Right, exactly. So it's so anyways, Louisiana doesn't rate well, and
Yeah.
got those crazy Cajuns. And
Yeah. Well, maybe that's the problem. Crazy Cajuns.
So number 1, worst state.
I got a story about this too. By the way,
they are number 1 in many rankings. Is California.
Yeah. It's still California.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've driven there, I hate you more and more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, you guys suck at driving.
So, like, are you talking like Northern or L.A.?
Oh, L.A.
Uh-huh.
L.A. You guys suck. I mean, just suck. Yeah. But I'm with this, by the way. I don't know about the Louisiana people. Massachusetts, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Chris seems to be all right
They
with
go
them.
fast.
Yeah.
Like Illinois. Illinois, some people complain about Illinois drivers, but it's nice that they go fast.
Yeah, they suck too.
They're ruder. They're definitely ruder.
Yeah.
It's like
California, I got a good story about California too.
Why don't you tell us your story?
So I went out there for business one time, and I'm coming back to the airport, and I don't even know. I went to In-N-Out, being one of my favorite places, and here in
In-N-Out
Wisconsin,
burgers, huh?
we can't get In-N-Out burgers. So here I am driving to find In-N-Out. Right, there's these two honking at each other, and they're in the turn lane. And all of a sudden, one guy gets out of the car, the other guy gets out of the car, and they start beating the crap out of each other. And I'm like, I'm never coming back to California.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not. I'm like, I don't need this shit.
Right.
I'm like, I'll make phone calls.
No kidding.
Yeah. I did get the In-N-Out, though, if you were worried about if I was hungry. Yeah.
So wait, where did they start fighting? This was
right at a stoplight turn. And I can't even remember why they were honking at each other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they both got out and they started beating each other. And I'm like, yeah, okay, good luck.
Right.
That's going to solve the world's problems.
No kidding. It probably just created more problems for these guys. It's if they got arrested for their
I'm telling you.
demeanor.
I'm telling you, if you play Mario Kart, that's like driving through California.
At least Southern California, right?
Yeah.
I think I've only driven through Southern California once. That was from like Palm Springs down through San Diego.
Yeah.
And so that was, I didn't.
That wasn't bad. I've done that,
Yeah.
but LA sucks. You just suck.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you guys from California, feel free to comment that I suck.
Right?
I don't care. I really could give two shits.
So here's another thing.
Yeah. What do you got?
I typed into Grok. I said, give me some bullet points that you're from Florida when.
Okay.
And so it says, so these are kind of fun. Your winter coat is a light hoodie. Anything below 70 feels like the Arctic.
Yeah. I've been there when it's been like 60 degrees
Right.
and everyone is like parkaed up, hatted up. And I'm like, it's like a heat wave
know,
here,
right?
people.
If you're from the north.
Yeah.
It's like I remember being in Israel once and it was like 60 degrees and I had shorts on and everyone was looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, hey, I'm from a colder climate.
I ask that all the time about you. What's wrong with you?
But yeah, so it's, but we all have to make our bodies have to make that adjustment. And
Yeah.
so yeah, 60 degrees is pretty cold in Florida.
Yeah, it's like a
especially if
blizzard.
you get south of, like Cocoa Beach, like south
For those
of
guys,
there,
that's a
so-
cold blizzard.
Yeah, right. Cold blizzard. Yeah, right. Yeah, the oranges are gonna die.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah.
you have to explain out of staters that snowbird doesn't refer to a type of bird, but those retirees fleeing from northern winters. So I heard a funny thing from a guy on the radio in Florida just like a couple weeks ago, and he was like saying, well, because they were talking about fall up
Sure.
north and stuff, and they're like, well, down in Florida, our leaves don't change color in fall, but the license plates do. I thought that was a funny line. All those northern license plates start showing up in Florida.
That's funny. Yeah.
So you're back.
You know
here.
what?
Yeah.
But talking about bad drivers, let's go kind of back to the other. I tell you what, whenever I'm in Florida and there is the mix of like people
All right.
driving the New York, the New Jerseys,
Right.
the Pennsylvanias, the Ohios, those are the worst freaking drivers I've ever seen.
So I think, I mean, my experience has been like, I think it's 4 that goes between like Cocoa Beach and like Tampa or something.
Okay.
Through Orlando.
Yeah.
And that road is full of slow people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like my experience is that road is full of slow people, probably like seniors from the north.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And then
My guess is it's an age problem.
maybe it is. Obviously there is an issue like that. But you go between like Miami and Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And you're flying. I mean, it's just you're just cruising, and obviously it's a little more East Coast there, but yeah, like the Florida Turnpike 95. You just, I mean, that's a fast road.
Right.
That feels good. That's like you're kind of opening it up and getting.
And
places.
I feel bad if it's an age issue. I apologize, but like my parents said not too long ago, they were basically like being honked at. Someone's yelling, "F you, F you," and I'm like, these people are old. Let them be. Let them be.
Yeah.
Just if they could just get over to the right lane. Get over to the right lane.
It'd be nice if there was like one senior lane and then the rest of the lanes are for people who are trying to get
Right.
places.
Get somewhere. Right. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's. I mean, in certain ways, that's why the left lane is for passing for people who don't know that.
What?
Yeah.
It's for passing.
If you're in passing mode, you're in that lane.
What are you
Yeah.
smoking?
And the right lanes are for slower traffic.
Have you been smoking in Hertz rental cars? Because I think I know who's doing it.
Because the big thing is that when you're retired, or if like you're a student, or if you just don't work, it's like you're not usually not in a hurry, and so you don't feel the pressure. But if it's like I get 50 things done today, I go here, 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 and here, and here, and you're like ready to explode with like anxiety. And you got someone going slow in front of you.
Oh, it's
a bad
annoying,
mix, right?
Yeah.
So
You know what's even more annoying? Let's go all the way back to the beginning of this whole show is like racing a car and then you get on the road.
Yeah.
Because your mind is moving that much quicker.
Oh yeah.
Everyone seems like they're moving in slow mo.
Wow, yeah.
And it's like,
'cause you're going
get
double.
out of my way, people.
Yeah.
And it's like it gets more irritating. I feel like it takes me 4 days to come down after a race.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Don't get me
imagine
wrong.
that.
People do it on the racetrack
Yeah.
to me too.
Because you're going double expressway speeds,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you're like dialing it back.
Yeah. And
it is a lot. Like, I
your
think
brain.
most people can,
Same thing
yeah.
with airplanes. When you're flying airplanes
Right.
at that speed,
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
get out of the airplane and you get on the road, you're like, get out of my way. Well, and I've had times when I'm like moving 100. I mean, I really wasn't moving 100, if you know what I mean. But I'm moving 100, and I look down, and I'm like, I feel like I'm going 50, and I go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just don't feel it,
Yeah, thank God I haven't been pulled over. Knock on
right.
wood.
especially if you have a big SUV or something.
Yeah.
You just don't feel the speed.
Yeah. All right, let's
Yeah.
get back to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, Florida.
So your backyard pool has more visitors, like gators and iguanas, than your family family gathers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So hurricane season means stocking up on beer and batteries, not evacuating. I'm gonna hunker down. I got my brew,
hunker down.
and I got batteries. Yeah, and now it's like, I guess you need batteries or like a generator or
Yeah.
something, just because
Which I just
if
purchased.
power goes out, you can't recharge your lithium batteries. So, you just purchased what?
I just purchased a battery backup.
Oh, like yeah.
Yeah, for my
Yeah,
sub
like
pump.
a power station.
Yeah, like a power
Those
station.
are great. I love
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
You can have power wherever you want.
Right.
So, you can tell the difference between a sunny day and a sunny day with a 10% chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Well, I think if you live in like Tampa, you always have that 10% of afternoon thunderstorms, because it's like they say, like, I think it's the lightning capital of America. And like, they predict like 3 p.m. every afternoon there's going to be just a thunderstorm whipping
Sure.
through, and then
A
that's
little
that.
front.
Half hour later it's gone and the sun's back.
Right.
Up. Yeah, your license plate says Sunshine State, but you're sweating through it year round. Let's see. You greet people with hot enough for you, even in January, but I think that depends. If you're up in the Panhandle, or even Jacksonville, that's where you get the 50, 60 degree weather, right? I mean, there's like a big spike as you go south.
Right.
So you greet people with, oh wait, that's it. Let's see. Driving with the windows down is your AC, and bugs are your unwanted passengers.
Yeah, I've been there.
Right? All the exits on I-4. Yeah, that's the road.
That's your.
That by heart from Orlando, traffic hell. One time, a little over 10 years ago, they changed the toll system since then, but they used to have the coin tolls.
Yeah. Right.
And I remember driving through there one day unexpectedly, like I didn't anticipate all the tolls. And so, I get to one, throw some change in. 2 miles later, I get another one, throw some change in. I'm going like this. After like the 7th one, I said to my kids, I'm like, I had no idea what we're going to do because I'm out of change.
Right.
And we pull up to the thing, and then I just look on the ground. And I just see like almost a mound of coins because people just fling shit. And it's just all over the place. I'm like, oh, I guess we're good. I opened up, grabbed some change. It was like the coin jar.
Yeah. Hey, if it's on the ground, it's finders keepers, right?
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
I should have grabbed some more.
I should have stockpiled.
Cuban sandwich is a food group, and anything else is just a snack. I'm not sure about that.
I like a
one.
good Cuban
Thought
sandwich.
everything was a conch fritter. You know,
My
so-
wife loves Florida for the Cuban food. She likes ropa viejo.
Okay, I've heard of that
Yeah,
before.
which is
It's a pork thing,
like
probably, right?
dirty laundry. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
is what it is, I guess.
Okay.
And it is good. It is good, but yeah.
Ah.
So
You see a beware of alligator sign and think, cool, free security. Let's see. Spring break means dodging college kids on every beach from Miami to Panama City.
I agree.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, although Panama City's really cracked down, I think they had a sheriff there who was pretty brutal on them. But I think Miami cracked down too because it was, people just get out of control, and it's great to have a fun time.
Yeah.
I remember going on spring break and being young and dumb and drunk, but
I never got to go
You
on
never
spring
went?
break. No.
because you were having too much fun at Ball State.
Yeah, testicle tech, right?
Your sunscreen SPF is higher than your IQ on a humid day.
That's a lot of people.
So, you know, that's funny because I talked to someone with inside knowledge on this SPF thing,
Yeah.
and they told me that anything above 30 SPF is making moms feel better.
Oh,
That's
really?
about it.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that.
So its efficacy totally diminishes after 30. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
let's see. You can identify a palm tree species better than your family tree.
I can see
That's pretty
that.
good.
You know,
As well as the grasses, right?
Huh?
The Bermuda grass.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other types
well,
of
you know what?
grasses
And the funny thing is, I was just saying this the last time I was in Florida, which was a couple weeks back, that there are some really cool looking palm trees. And it's like there has to be different species of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because there's some short ones, there's some ones wide at the bottom, there's some
Right.
ones with the, the real high tops. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm sorry.
I think I heard a stat recently, or not recently, but maybe over the last year, and we can look this up, but I thought it was that more people die
By coconuts.
from coconuts than they
Yes.
do lightning, right? Or
Yeah,
something?
that's a correct statement. Yes. Yeah.
So manatee is your spirit animal, and you're jealous of their chill vibe,
I feel that way.
right? And manatees are cool. I mean, I think that they were like kind of like in the evolutionary pattern. They were like a break off of like an elephant.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
something
could
like
see that.
Yeah,
I'd say more of a walrus
yeah, but maybe the walrus is part of that same group, you know,
or a
I think so.
hippopotamus. They look
Yeah.
like a hippopotamus in the
Right,
face, you
right.
know? But
And they definitely do have some land creature, relatives.
yeah, interesting.
Let's see. You blame every weird smell on the swamp, even indoors. Guess that depends on who you live with.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that like talking about this, and we both drive Teslas at this point, and there's I don't know if your car has it, but does it have a biohazard release button?
I don't know. I haven't looked for it.
Mine, if someone breaks wind in the car, you can hit the biohazard release, and it'll get rid of whatever's in the car.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
a car that will, for those who don't know, you can program your car to make fart sounds. Like if you hit the horn, it makes a fart sound.
Yeah.
Or you can just have it do it like when certain things happen. So it'll break wind for you, and it'll release gas for you, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
And the sad thing is, I've used it.
yeah, yeah.
It's better than rolling down the window.
Gas ejection.
Yeah, not for me, of course. I'm gasless.
Probably your kids.
Yeah,
after a night of
my
drinking.
wife. She'll love that.
Disney World feels more like home than your actual house. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
Let's see. You collect hurricane T-shirts, like participation trophies. I survived Hurricane Melissa. You know?
Yeah.
I, I was on Palm Beach when Sandy whipped past there once, and that was crazy. I mean, it was like 400 miles out in the ocean, like the eye.
Yeah.
Well, we still had like 65-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
I got a great picture of my kid being sandblasted as we're walking on the beach.
Wonderful. That's
Very painful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gator could mean the animal, the football team, or your ex's temper. Ooh.
Ooh.
You know the Everglades aren't a theme park, but wish they had better Wi-Fi. What they do have are mosquitoes, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, really bad, huh?
Oh my goodness. Like in the middle of the day, they're just... Ooh.
Swarming.
Yeah. Flip-flops are formal wear. Socks with sandals is a war crime.
You know,
And,
I'm going to have to tell you, socks with sandals doesn't work, people.
even if you're north of 65?
No. Doesn't work. You look like a complete moron.
I remember going to like church once in Florida, and I was like, well, you know, because our church like normally is kind of formal, and so I was like, well, you know, I wonder if it'll be formal or if it'll be casual because it's Florida, and so I kind of like went halfway, you know, wore a nice pair of shorts, but then everyone's in like blue blazers and and khaki pants or whatever.
They take that seriously, I guess.
Right, exactly. Then my kid acted up, and then we kind of got booted out of the service anyways, and so we ended up on the playground with some other kids. So let's see. So you can swim in the ocean year-round, but the sharks are just local wildlife. And you hear people like that. Well, they're just sharks. You know, it's...
Yeah, I'm going in the Bahamas next week, and my wife is like, I will not get in the water because of the sharks.
You know, it's like people feel comfortable. They're like, well, they're not after you, but you never know when you get a rogue one, right?
You know, you don't. I have to tell you.
So like if you're like
I'm a little
wary. You know, and I'm not. We're not shark experts, but you know, if you splash around the top, that's where they seem to like go after you because they mistake you for a seal or whatever. But if you're down in the water, like swimming around, that seems like they just kind of ignore you. My brother told me once that he had gotten nudged by a hammerhead once, like while he was like scuba diving down in the Caribbean.
Really?
That would freak me out.
Yeah, that would freak me out
probably
too.
soil my wetsuit right there, you know. So,
he probably did.
He probably did, knowing him. Yep. Key lime pie is dessert, breakfast, and a pie chart on your diet. I don't know. You know, it's okay. It's nothing special. You know?
I like key lime pie. Some places make it really good, and some places make it really bad.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Rush hour on the turnpike means plotting your escape route in advance. Let's see. You wave at strangers in golf carts like they're old friends. Yeah, all these people buzzing around. Yeah, let's see. I wonder if many people run into alligators while they're buzzing around on their golf carts.
Oh, I bet you they do.
Love bugs sound romantic until they splatter on your windshield. Yeah, that's a big mess.
I don't even know what a love bug is. Reminds me of the VW bug.
Right? You know the difference between a no-see-em bite and actual torture. I mean, I've seen you in Massachusetts get attacked by no-see-ems.
Oh man, I hate those.
Right?
Even worse than mosquitoes.
Man, those are tough.
Yeah.
And it really sucks. Yeah, because it really sucks. You know, Florida at night, it's really cool to sit at the water.
Right.
Watch a distant storm or whatever, but you know, you get the no-see-ems like ruining your whole experience.
Does bug spray work on them?
I think so.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so. And so, I remember one time I was at a friend's house over in Cocoa Beach, and you know, they were on this like waterway, and it was so cool. They had like there were like these insects in the water, or whatever, microscopic organisms that were bioluminescent.
Yeah.
and you could like splash.
Oh,
with a
sure, and it
paddle.
would
And it's just a big
make
like,
it
splash
shimmer.
of light. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then you'd see fish in the water. You know, the fish would go zip, 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 and it'd be a streak of light in the water. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
That's cool.
And except for the no-see-ums, they kind of like ruined the party. You know?
Yeah.
So, your boat is bigger than your house, and both are in a flood zone. You know, Fort Lauderdale is supposed to be the yacht capital of America, and I mean, I could see it. You know, I mean, just some of their coastals over there. It's just parades of massive, massive boats. It's amazing.
Right.
As well as Miami, obviously. Miami's got big stuff going down. Retiree rage in public aisles is your cardio for the day.
Publix.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, the grocery store.
right? I mean, Publix is the grocery store. In
Are they
Florida.
raging about the prices? Or are they
So,
raising about the inflation? Are they
I'm
raising?
not sure. I mean, cardio, so you'd have to think that they're like
Oh, maybe they're just walking
racing
carts.
around, and I get frustrated at the retirees poking around, like in the way or whatever, and you just like get frustrated and like start running through them or something. And I don't know. It's kind
Yeah, I
of
know.
an ambiguous statement there. So, you in every conversation with stay hydrated. Oh, you end every conversation with stay hydrated, like it's the state motto. So
Right.
So, anyways, so that's Florida in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all that we have for today, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Give us some comments. Let's do some other shows. Tell us what you like, don't like. If you don't like me, I don't care. If you don't like Chris, he probably cares. But,
I wouldn't care.
But stay hydrated and
Have a great day.
yeah, bye.